his poem was "Adulthood is the wrong hood," and it was a great poem.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was a great poem, and like he was just speaking nothing but the truth about how we come into this hood not knowing how to do anything. And
Okay.
it's like truly
That's
amazing.
good. That's good.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was just really amazing. So I think I was just reflecting on my adulthood. Um, yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chris.
Got
Um,
it.
I was really like reflecting on that and just putting some things in perspective about Jason and what adulthood looks like for him.
Wow. That's deep.
That's good.
Did you record it?
No, I didn't. I think I did record him. Yes, I think I did. And you know what? I will send it. I will send it to Minister Chris.
Okay. Okay. I would love to hear that. So, that's all right. That's all right.
Good.
Tanisha, how about you? How's your week?
I went to New York City this weekend to celebrate my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. To watch her be regal and walk and strut it was goals. I've never really, we understand to give people their flowers, right? But to see this woman 70 standing up straight, dancing in regalia, to see her 4 sons doting on her hand and foot, to see it orchestrated, to see the rose petals at her feet, like every little thing was spot on. And I say, how amazing is it to see this here versus at a funeral? And we don't like to talk about that, but that was a real live, in your face, give her flowers. And I was excited to be a part of it.
I saw the videos and I saw your husband dancing in and the pictures and things like that. And it's amazing. And, I think as we get older, we begin to see our elders, leave. And I remember when I was younger, my mother and one of my aunts would always, it was like they would read the obituary. And I was like, why, but now I get it. But it's amazing. And now where I am now to understand, like you said, give them their flowers now.
Absolutely.
And it looked like a beautiful celebration and all we can hope for, really, because we're not promised. What is it? 7 or something like
and
that.
7.
Yeah. So we're not guaranteed. And I think that adds up to like 70 something. Because I don't really know what a score
No,
is.
really. That's what they say. That's what they say.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome. And then we have things, we have wounds in our family. And even though I'm an in-law, we've had some infighting between the wives. And so I've been part of that because I'm one of the wives, but that we finally came together under my mother-in-law and we healed a situation that's been ongoing for about 20 years. So out of that blessing, out of being a part of, her celebration, I still came home with something that I'm going to be able to carry with me. So I'm feeling whole because I'm going through this healing journey. And so this is just one more healing process that I've gone through that I've successfully said, I'm good.
Amen. Amen. That you say that, and I'm sure Jason will touch on it, and we'll make sure that we share it. Jason does amp up affirmations, meditations, and prayer. And he does that, and he has a book, his book out. So we'll show that in a little bit, but he has a book that deals with that kind of thing. So everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And I believe that this conversation is one of them. Taff, what about you? How was your week?
My week was pretty good. Me and Powder walked a couple times.
You know what?
Yeah.
To be a college student and do absolutely nothing.
It feels great. It feels
Hey, I post this. There's a lady, Auntie Bev. Honest, I joke a lot, but this is true. Auntie Bev always gives the vocabulary word for the day.
Oh, I know.
And today's word was languorous. And she uses it in a sentence. And so Taft's languorous disposition is overwhelming. Languorous, meaning a person who might be lazy, but not quite lazy, but a person that finds joy in doing absolutely nothing. Languorous.
I don't know. I took a 6-hour nap.
That's a great
Yeah,
word.
listen,
I'm
That's
gonna
a
use
great
that
word.
one.
That was a 6-hour nap.
that was not
And
a
I
nap.
felt
That was a
accomplished.
slumber. If you
That's
sleep
a
for
s-
6 hours, you are
I
slumbered.
just took a cat nap.
A cat nap.
That's
That's
it.
not a cat nap.
That's not. That is
Far from a
not
cat
true.
nap.
just something, you know, small and simple.
See, whatever. So I had a couple things before we and we also play Family Feud. So that'll be next. But I had something that I wanted to share because I mean I didn't see much about it. I didn't see much about it on Facebook, and I didn't know if anybody else saw it. But there was an article. Let's see here. There was an article. Maybe it's not on here. Let's see. I hope I don't lose everybody. So anyway, there was an article about DJ Casper. Did you guys see that? DJ Casper,
No.
William Perry Jr., 58 years old.
Yes.
He's the man
Yeah.
that did the cha-cha slide.
Oh yeah, yeah, he passed
He's the
away.
Yeah,
man
he
that did
passed away.
he passed away. And so DJ Casper. And there was an unfortunate incident at the burial. The pallbearers were having a hard time carrying the casket because first they did a right foot stomp and then they
You
did
know
a
what?
left foot stomp.
I'm not about to do this. Oh, good.
Look at me. Wow.
Oh Lord. See, I knew that was a
Wow.
setup. I knew there was a setup. I just wanted to go all the way through to the end, and I'm glad I did.
This is so
I'm weak.
funny.
Lord, forgive me.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Forgive me, Lord. That wasn't right. It was probably too soon. I'm weak. I tickle myself. I am weak on that one.
Oh.
Oh,
Lord.
shucks.
Let's say
That was
hello.
great.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. It was just I couldn't. I couldn't. I don't know why
Yeah.
I do it. I just do it. I don't know.
Yeah, you just to do it right. That one right there was way out of line. Out
But
of
truthfully,
line.
that was out of line. Is this the show
It
that
was
we get
funny,
canceled?
but it was out of line.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
It'll be like on Minister Chris's Facebook page. There was 3 good years running, but that third one. We're always at risk of getting canceled, but I couldn't.
Somebody accomplished all the things that we
Yes,
said
yes,
shouldn't have.
that we shouldn't have. I'd like to state that these are just our opinions and not the opinions of the establishment or amendment. Yeah, it's just a joke. But he did pass away, sadly. And I'm so sorry. It was probably just
He
too
did.
soon, but I couldn't. Let's say hello to
man.
Estrella Williams, Estrella Williams.
Hey!
She said you're wrong for that. Nakia Sangria. Nakia, where are you joining us from? Thank you for joining us. Oh, we did not say hello to Chris Camouflage Williams. Chris Camouflage Williams, right here in Harrisburg. Thank you for joining us. Minister Chris, I think we're ready for the Family Feud. I think I've done a lot. So here's how it works. I will ask the question, put your answers in, yell your answers out, type them in the comments. You at home, don't do it before you break my table tap. You at home can yell your answers out. Just do not be upset if we don't hear you. So name a lie that people tell their doctors and go.
I'm healthy.
They eat
I'm
well.
healthy.
They work out.
Okay, well, let me say
They
1,
eat well.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Top 7 answers on the board. Number 1 is I feel fine, so we'll go with healthy. They eat well. That is number 3. The Tanisha, eat right, eat well. Tab, what'd you say?
They work out.
They work out. No, that's not.
Mm.
That is not there.
I
Yeah.
lied about
Yeah, because you lied about
that.
just because you lied about it, you're the only one because it's really clear. Yeah, it's just you. Well, you also have to remember that they asked the 100 people that they asked. Christopher Thomas says, I don't smoke or do drugs. Wow. Don't smoke is number 2.
That's a
Don't
lie.
smoke. He said that's a lie.
I mean, I'm
Um,
not talking about you, Mr. Chris. I'm just saying in general.
well, I mean, once again, like, you go to your doctor and lie, he knows.
True, but it's like a game,
Yeah, well,
Can you tell?
can you tell
Do you
them?
really know?
No, really, you're the doctor.
Why do I have to tell you?
Right.
Right. You should have discernment.
Yes. So, Miss Tanisha DaCosta. Now, I'm sorry about that. We had to get those things out the way. For those of you that are just joining us, we have Tanisha DaCosta in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Chi-town.
Hey,
Yeah.
y'all.
And
That's
but
wrong
from
one.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
repping Buffalo.
716.
Yeah, 716. And Tanisha, we met, it's had to have been at least 10. How long have you been in Charlotte?
I've been in Charlotte 8 years now.
Okay, so we left in 2011.
So we met before that.
9. So however many years that is, that was like probably a half a score and some months ago.
Yeah.
That's a score.
Yeah, half a
Ah,
score
ah,
and some months ago.
ah.
I think from now on, I'm going to start doing things in score. Somebody be like, how old are you? Well, I'm about a score and a half. Yeah, in a couple of weeks.
Listen.
So, Tanisha, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I like to laugh. No, I like long walks on the beach. No, I am personally, I've been married to my dear husband next month for 24 years, 5 kids. Yes, 5. Just listen, this is probably going into the best season. 5 children, 2 grandchildren. I am a teen mom. I am a graduate 3 times of college. I am enrolled in a doctoral program of education. Why? Because my passion in life is working with youth. I've tried working with a lot of grown folk to realize that I like my lane, and my lane is the little people. So I have currently in the state of North Carolina, I own a cheerleading and mentoring company where we get girls to cheer. We teach them the fundamentals and move them past fundamental stage. We get them to competitions that are at HBCU colleges. The goal is to show them that there is an opportunity for them in the sport of cheer, that they are athletes, not just cute and pretty, and that there are scholarship opportunities available to them. So they didn't know that. Now they do. And then we also tie in holistic health, economic empowerment, academic achievement, and leadership, which stands for HEAL. And our goal is to heal the community, one youth, one season, one love at a time. Ultimately, if we have a child in our possession, whether it's for cheer, we have a responsibility. So we want to make sure that we can impact them. So mentoring, I found out molestation has taken place. I found out that children are afraid to go home, just all types of things that when they're in a safe space, they will share. So now we've been in a daycare space for 3 years. After I left teaching the classroom, I realized that the school system is not set up for us. So who's going to make it different? It would have to be me. So I did. So I went and quit my job as an educator. I opened up my daycare center in my garage. 3 months later, I was blessed with a 2,000 square foot building to where I was able to be licensed for 45 kids. So I've touched 45 and plus children, more than that. And it's beautiful. Thank you. Problem, we're already going to find a problem. Once my babies left me, then what? I basically, what I say is I threw them into the mouth of a giant that they weren't ready to swim in. So I decided last month, well, I always knew I would do this, but I moved on God's word and I said, I'm coming out of the daycare space because where I can.
I think You know what?
September.
You know what? I can't with you, Jason. Tanisha's coming back in.
Oh, there she go.
You know what, Tanisha, when you're done, play this back because Jason is real silly. Can you hear us now?
I can.
Okay, Jason is real silly. Don't think it's just us. So you said that you're coming out of the daycare.
We're coming out of daycare so we can affect more. Just talking to my pastor, and he said, listen, you got 45 kids that you work with. Imagine if you touch 400. So we're going into K through 12 education where we empower, which is our tagline. We empower children who learn and think differently. So whether you don't want to be in a tradition, you want to be homeschooled, come to us. If you want a private school experience and you didn't realize you can afford it, come to us, because what I discovered in my research is whether you make $1 or $100,000, you can get your seat paid for through the state for you to go to any school, including a private school. So that doesn't alienate my impoverished, and it doesn't do my middle. All of us are able to go to public, charter, or private. I just so happen to be in a private school. I'm gonna learn my babies up and make them strong so that they can be in charge of their own education. That's our goal.
All right,
so
doctor. All right, doctor.
You hear?
Okay, well, y'all, that's
it's gonna take some time because I'm on a break right now. But
well, thank you for coming out. God bless and good night.
Right.
No, for real.
I am so happy for you, but so proud of you. Not at all surprised though. This has been deep from day one. So I am not at all surprised and just looking forward to it. And in any way, and I believe I can safely speak for all of us, including the Voice 17104. If in any way we can be a part of that, we can assist you with that. We can help you. Please do not hesitate to reach out to Minister Chris Thomas at the Voice 1704. Myself, Taft, to come down and put a meal plan together. He's in school.
Yes.
And Jason, who also has a background in early childhood education.
Oh, come on, y'all.
And meditation and things like that. So this is how it works. This is how it works. So
yes, that's what I want. And that's what I want. I want the vision of education to look different. So where we don't have just basketball, we also have chess. Like it doesn't have to be one or the other. We can make it a hodgepodge thing and make it a wonderful thing. How do we eat better? Let's show them how. Let's do hydroponics. Let's just throw it all out there and let the kids catch it. Because they can.
Yeah, I know that's right. Let's say hello to Promise Mills. Hey, Miss
Promise.
Here in Harrisburg.
Hey, Promise, nice name.
Thank you, Miss Lena Mills, for joining us. Nakia Sangria sent hearts. Let's say hello to Randy Massey, my mom.
Hey,
in
Mama.
South Carolina. Hey, Mom, thank you for joining. She said, I love this. She said, I love this. We love you too. So listen, and this, let's go back to how this conversation and what we kind of came together to talk about. And then there were a couple of other things that have popped up since then, but I think that they will all fit in together. So last week, Tanisha posted hashtag I am not my ancestors and said that she felt like it was blasphemy. And I agree. First, let me start right there. I feel like, I agree, it's blasphemy. But there were over 38 comments on one string, just one string alone, of someone that said, we are not our ancestors. And then other people were saying, yes, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And so in the comments, the one young lady said, we are not our ancestors. She went on to say, because our ancestors were uneducated, they were submissive, that their children could be raped and they would stand by and say and do nothing. Just basically, I don't even know what to call it, but she basically went on to say that we are not our ancestors. And so it started the conversation, and I had hoped that I actually had hoped that she would join us, because I want to hear from everybody. You know, I want to hear from everybody why you would think that you're not, and why you believe that you are. But it went from 0 to 75 in a 15-mile per hour chill zone, quick.
All day.
Quick.
Quick.
Let's say really quickly before he goes, Nathaniel Gadsden, Reverend Dr.
Hey.
Nathaniel Gadsden.
Welcome.
Hello, family. I have to conduct class at 6:30 p.m., but I love the conversation. Blessings. Thank you for stopping in, and I will be sure. Nathaniel Gadsden is the founder of Nathaniel Gadsden Writers Workshop that we meet on Friday, and he and Pat Gadsden, his wife, also have life esteem programs where they do family planning. They have programs for men, lots of different things. And then he's also the pastor of Imani Faith Church here in Harrisburg. So Tanisha, also someone that I would love to put you in contact with.
Absolutely.
We finna put this whole
Absolutely.
We finna bring the community together.
You're gonna have me in tears over here now.
I'm telling you. So Estrella Williams, let's go back. Estrella Williams said, laugh out loud, all that can still happen today. I believe she's talking about what the young lady said of the things that happened. Really quick, let's also say hello to Marie Miller, First Lady for Wesley Union AME Zion Church, the church that's making an impact in the community, where Reverend Dr. David T. Miller is our pastor here in Harrisburg, 5th and Camp Street.
All right.
So back to the conversation. So the conversation went from 0 to 75. And how it went from 0 to 75 was I posted something. I posted my rebuttal to that, and I'll share that with you guys. And then she came back, and this person kept coming back and forth. And so, Tanisha, I think you just said something simple, like we have to be about a different mindset. And you talked about the mentality of people that would think that way. And next thing you know, N-words were flying and different things. And so it just, it went from there. So Tanisha, what prompted you? What prompted you to start the conversation, and what was it that laid on your heart to say it?
So really, that's a great question. So I was scrolling, morning scroll, and I saw someone who I consider to be a friend, and he posted that. And, we seem to think that the people on our Facebook pages or what have you, because we follow each other, we kind of have like-minded thoughts. So shame on me. But when I saw it, it kind of took me aback, but I had a real connection to that post. Like I felt something. So I was like, yeah, I don't like the way I feel. So I made an emotional post. That was emotion. That was me talking right from my heart. I didn't like it. And so I did not expect, literally, it wasn't a thought to it. It was just, I didn't like how that made me feel. I wonder if other folks feel the same. Let me post this. And within minutes, like you said, it went out of anywhere. What I didn't realize and expect is that I would have an emotional connection to something someone said, which now that I'm in a space that I'm in now with mental health and going through things I've gone through, when I feel it, it's a trigger. I need to explore it. And so me posting was my way of kind of exploring it, but for the world to help me explore that, if that makes sense. And we did. We explored it very well.
We thoroughly explored, yeah. And I don't mean Christopher explored it.
I was about to say, no, not the fake one.
Yeah, we unpacked it. How about that? We unpacked it. Yeah, we were ready for it. So
we were.
Jason, have you seen? I mean, have you seen it? What are your thoughts? Have you seen the comments and things like that?
Yeah, I definitely did take a look at it. I believe now, when Miss Nnochirionye sends you homework, you better do it. And so I
you know what? I can't.
so I did read it, and I was reading through the comments. And see, I'm not a comment reader person, honestly. I'm the one that looks at the post.
Oh.
I might say something and then I'll move on. I'm not, but lately now I've been a comment reader, and it's been very interesting to see people's thought processes and mindsets on particular subjects. And this one here was very interesting. And I seen your reply, Tanisha, and I saw your reply, Wendy, and I just sat there and I just really thought about it. And it amazes me of the lack of education, the lack of thought behind something, like as if what happened to our ancestors never happened. And there we go again. She's going again. And what happened to our ancestors never happened. And then that like we have this tendency to forget. Like for some reason, we have this tendency to forget. I'm not saying that it's not blatant. I think that's what it is. It's not blatant as it was then. And so then it has such an undertone and an undercarriage that individuals are not realizing that you still have to keep your eyes open and on a head on a swivel, no matter what. And to say that we're not our ancestors is a slap in the face to say that we just came out of thin air.
That's it.
Which that was not the case.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
trust me, there are people out there that are going to continue to let us know that we did come from our ancestors. Plain a point blank. I don't care how these other individuals seem to reply, and they just live in their homes, burled up, probably, they don't go nowhere, don't do nothing else but go to work and go home, or go to church and go home, or what have you. Things are still happening to people regardless, even if it's not happening to you. And so that's just it's just imperative that we stay educated, we stay open, and we keep ourselves available to what's happening, and then how we can eradicate all of this stuff that is taking place in our neighborhoods and in our families' lives and in the world as a whole.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Are you or are you not your ancestors?
I think I am, like, completely. I think, even so with all the stuff that I don't know, the comment that you said, she was like, oh no, I'm not my ancestors because they were da 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 da. I think that even more so makes me my ancestors. You know what I mean? Because I think that they went through all of that, so later down the line they could have someone like me who wouldn't be able to respond the same. You know what I mean? I think that it's disrespectful to turn around and say, oh no, I'm not my ancestors, I'm not them, I'm not like them. But they kept going, you know what I mean? They went through all that stuff, they put up with all that stuff so that there would be a chance later on, you know what I mean, for me, for you, for any of us to do what we're doing now. You know what I mean? How many of our ancestors do you think are looking now like, wow, like how proud of, we're here, we are, you know what I mean, for educated Black people on a show talking, we talk about anything, everything, under the sun, under the moon, we're talking, you know what I mean? You're networking, you're working with community. I think all these things are things that our ancestors worked for us to do. That's think right. That all the stuff is they endured for us to do. So to say that you're not your ancestors, I don't get that. You know what I mean? I see maybe not being able to react the way that they reacted, but even then, you know what I mean?
True. Let's say hello to Leo Jack Nelson, also in Buffalo. Estrella Williams said, if you have ever watched Finding
Buffalo
with Dr. Lewis Gates, there's not one person whose family he researched that has not attributed their ancestry to what and who they are today and how they influenced and shaped their lives. That Absolutely. Is so true. That is so true. Even if you read The Black Church by Henry Louis Gates, he talks about that as well.
That was a great PBS series that he did on the Black Church. Like, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. Once again, I preferred the book. I always preferred a book.
Yeah.
Oh, you preferred the book?
It gives you more insight.
Okay.
You'll get more insight. And you have to be more introspective in that space. So I agree.
Any movie that there's a book, I prefer the book.
I agree. Can I just add to the conversation that and this is one of the things I wanted to say, but again, I was emotional. Fighting is relative, right? Like when I think about Malcolm X and I think of Martin, did neither one of them fight, or did they fight in their relatively way, in the way that was relative to what they thought the fight should be? So when she said that, I said, give us more credit as a people, is what I was thinking, because we're engineers. And you said that, right? We're engineers, we're doctors, we're inventors. So do you think that every single person who decided, because see, there's a thing called planned ignoring when you're in mental health, like with people you have, and you don't just, because of the dignity, you don't just ignore them, but let them know, moving forward, I'm going to ignore you. That's very strategic and specific. If I plan ignore you, if I plan anything, I was speaking to someone who's from Charleston, and she said, see, the people think because we're Geechee, we're stupid. See, what we did was we figured out a way to maintain our language. So thereby the people thought we were ignorant, but we were not really. We were more smart and intelligent because we were having dialogue right in their face. Right. So it's relative to the situation, the person. So the connotation, to your point, is a slap in the face, because ultimately how I do things and how you do things, as long as we get to the goal, is what the point was. Rally as many people to get free. I didn't like
Absolutely. Let me say hello really quick to Tina Washington Abubakar, my big sister. Yeah, Buffalo is in the house.
We're doing it today.
Tina said,
716.
Yes. Tina said, hello, family.
Podcast.
Even our ancestors.
Windy. We're talking about the post I made the other day.
Huh? Oh, Tina said, hello, family. Even our ancestors that were enslaved had great agency in many, many ways. Survival by itself was and still is a means of fighting against a system of racism and genocide. She also said, Ashe Tat.
This is true.
It's true. Nakia said,
Absolutely.
yes, they always find someone that times them to the past. I think ties them to the past. That was a great docuseries. So she also, Nakia said her ancestors started at slavery, just like she was taught at school, nothing outside of that.
Right.
Estrella said, my fifth great grandfather is Josiah Henson, and Matthew Henson is my cousin. Just saying. Amen. That's a legacy. That's a legacy in and of itself. You know, I really think that people who are saying we are not our ancestors, sort of to what Tanisha said, I think they feel like back then they weren't angry enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they feel like they weren't angry enough. But there's a difference. Like you said, there's a difference between planning it out and being direct and concise with your actions and your plans.
That's right.
As opposed to just willy-nilly paying money everywhere.
Right.
Because then you're not organized. So even when you talk about Malcolm and you talk about Martin, the thing that even though one was pro, do what you got to do, the other one was nonviolent, they were at opposite ends, of the spectrum. However, what they had in common, which was most important, is their approach was organized.
That's it.
Yeah.
Their
strategic.
Organized. Strategic, which makes us our ancestors.
Come on now. That's where we at. I don't understand it.
Our ancestors. What is not my ancestors is the ignorance.
Yeah.
That is not where I came from.
Right.
I knew. And the ancestors are sitting there talking about, honey, I know she didn't just do that. The ancestors, they got fly swatters and house shoes in their hand, like, do it again.
They probably saying, I am not them. The ancestors said, I am not them.
I am not they writing on tablets. They got hammers. They're writing on tablets. I am not my successors.
That's right. That's what they said.
Oh,
we've
man.
come a long way, but not to where we need to. It's sad, we grew up in Taft has heard it a million times. My father used to have this little pyramid, and whenever we would do something silly or dumb, he would bring out this pyramid or if we got grades, because we weren't allowed to get below like an 85 in school, and definitely not in math and science, because he would say, first, like an 85, he would do this thing. He would say, so your mother, what do you think about your mother? You think she's smart? You think she's above average or below average? So of course, you got to say above average, which she is.
Right.
And he'd say, well, what about me? You think I'm below average or above average? Like above average. And he'd be like, so above average plus above average is what? Be like, above average. He'd be like, so two above average people cannot have a below average child.
Ooh,
so that meant that we had to have, okay, so that meant we had to have above average grades. And especially in math and science, because he would always talk about the pyramids and talk about how we created, we invented, we created math and science. When you think about that, right? People see the pyramids. Those stones were not already triangular when they found them, and they just picked them up and stacked them on top of each other until they had a pyramid. So they had to create a rock quarry. They had to create transportation to get the stones from where they were down to where the pyramids were. They had to create math and physics, one, to add it up and make it, you know, make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
And make it not fall. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, if somebody sends me outside, right? Well, not me, because I like to work with my hands and I like tools and wood and stuff, so I could build a pyramid. But what I'm saying is, it would not last this long. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you've got math, you've got science, because think about the fact that these pyramids, after all these years, through weather, through storms, through wars, through everything else, are still standing. Yeah. We did that. Yeah. That's right. You can say it's not in Africa if you want to. You can say it's not us if you want to. You know, you could say my foot is not a part of my body if you wanted to. You could, technically. And when I go to the doctor, I'd be like, that foot don't matter because it's not a part. That's what it was like. But I think that we need to know that. And the reason people say that, you know, the Bible says that, you know, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. The reason people say that is because they don't know. And I believe that if they knew, they would be so glad, because, you know, it's a group of people. Was it Rachel Dolezal? It's a group of people who would love to say that those are their ancestors. They would love to hashtag I am my ancestors, and it be us and not their own. Right. You know, and unfortunately, Candace Owens, there's a group of them that don't want to, and we are okay with that. You know, we had a delegation meeting on one of the shows about a month or so ago. The population, the African American population, has decreased slightly because we've allowed some people to go. We've done a trade. Cass said we turned them loose. Turn them loose, let them go.
Who had to go? Who got kicked out?
Well, who got Candace Owens got kicked out.
Oh, yeah. She never was part of the team.
Well, I mean, wow. I once and for all, finally, no takebacks, no do-overs. I let OJ go.
Oh, good for you. I'm with it.
Yeah, OJ, yeah, no do-overs, no takebacks. No oopsie daisies, nothing.
OJ plays too much. Bye, OJ.
Taft did. He brought Tyler Perry to the table. Taft did.
I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready.
I'm almost ready.
He got his hand on the button.
But now, if Tyler go, Oprah gotta go too.
Oh. Wow.
So I think we're coming to our close.
Yeah, you about to really get it. I don't know. Well, I think that's a hard one. That's
you
like
think
that
so?
thing. Well, you know, that's like that thing, you know how they do on Facebook and they have the 4 people and they say one has to go.
Yeah.
Okay, who was it? It was Marvin Gaye, Prince, Michael Jackson. And who was the 4th one? It was somebody else. And they were like, this one has to go with all of their music. And I can't believe I can't remember the 4th one, because I was like, let Prince go.
Yeah, because you were really ready to let.
Yeah, I was like,
really?
Yeah. If we can find it before we go, I was like, let Prince go. I was good with that. So
You know what?
let's do that.
I don't even know who the fourth person is, but I kind of would. I think I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Not
Only
that I
I need to
because,
know
like,
who the fourth person is.
I never had a true relationship with Nelson, and so and because I wasn't a fan of rock and roll either. So any of that guitar music was just very annoying. So
That makes sense.
I couldn't deal with that.
I like his songs. It's not that I didn't like his songs, but if I gotta let one go and all of his music, I'm
I
definitely
need to know who the fourth one is.
It
Roger
was
Roger
Stevie
Nelson.
Wonder.
That's his name.
It was Stevie. It was
Stevie gotta go.
what?
What?
Oh my goodness. Minister Chris, cut that out, move the camera back. You let Stevie go.
Wow.
What?
I should have known
Wow.
it.
I like Prince. I love
This
Michael.
that gentleman is the most articulate person ever created by God.
I agree.
For a person to never see not near a person
Yeah.
or a sky or a bird, and could create music like this person has created music
Oh, God, you're right.
in an athletic way. There's absolutely no way that you can get rid of him.
So we were talking about I am my ancestors. I agree with you on that. Nakia said Nakia said she's keeping Prince over Michael. Then she said Michael would have to go. Let's go back. Nakia, you said they're trading her to another delegation. I don't know who the other delegation is.
Prince.
Oh, Estrella said, right. Estrella said Michael Jackson, Prince, Stevie Wonder, and Otis Redding. Prince would still go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm keeping Otis. What? Try a little tenderness. You say nobody come to see you.
Otis.
Come
I
on,
can't
man.
believe-
Otis has to stay. Because if we don't have Otis, it's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of other people.
That's what it is.
Prince has got to
That's
go.
what it is.
Sorry.
You lose Phil Collins with Prince. I do want to.
What's that said
You
again?
lose Phil Collins with Prince.
If you put Phil Collins in?
No, you lose. Phil Collins was inspired by Prince.
No, Phil Collins still stays.
No, but
because if you lose Phil Collins and you lose Philip Bailey, and you can't do that.
We can't lose Philip Bailey.
No, well, Prince still has to go. Look, you hear that? That's Dove crying. Prince has got to go. You hear that? That's them. That's them. So let's see. Let's go back because I want to catch. Nakia said that they were trading someone to another delegation. We missed it, but who are you trading to another delegation? Estrella said the issue too is that most of us do not know our ancestors or history. They only have the derogatory stereotypes to base things off. I think that's the problem. Go ahead.
I agree with that point because I know people that have been to Africa and that has said that they've been welcomed with open arms in different part of the countries in Africa. But yet I've heard stories where people say that they don't want us over there.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing that they do want us over there. Like they embrace us.
Nakia probably
it's very interesting. Go ahead.
Nakia probably could speak to that because I remember years ago I posted something about African American, and she had a very profound. She said, having been in Africa, how they delineated between Africans and Africans from America. I can't remember. Probably going back 10 years ago. Nakia, if you remember that, when you went to Africa, how did they receive you? What did they say about Africans versus African American from America?
And what country did you go to?
That's a good point too.
She went to Senegal as a child, and I still remember that vacation. I lived in Nigeria for 3 years, and if it was my Americanness, which I don't claim, but if it was my Americanness that they were talking about, I was white. America just white. That's it.
Whoa.
But as far as being accepted, being claimed, feeling at home, and things like that, I was as at home as I have ever been.
I believe it.
In fact, I have dual citizenship. While I was there, I got dual citizenship. And the minute they say y'all got to go,
Yes,
I don't have a
ma'am.
problem with it. In fact,
Yeah.
God on
when
me. I'm out
yeah,
of here.
and when Trump was first elected, the
His name is
president of Ghana,
45.
number 45, excuse me,
Number
number
45.
45 was first
That's it.
selected. The president of Ghana went on the news, the international news, and said any African Americans that want to come to Ghana can come. And if you have Ghanaian ancestry, you can buy property. If you do not, you have to go through naturalization and then you can own property. And they will help you.
Naturalize me. Yeah. That's
Citizenship.
good.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. And
That's good
so
to know.
once again, I will go there. I mean, right about now, I go to Rwanda. I mean, I'm just saying, it comes, and the thing being the stereotype. People say it all the time. Because I was married to an African man, to a Nigerian man, and people would say, oh, they like to have a bunch of wives. That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true. Oh, they're degrading to women. That's not true. That's a personal character flaw.
There we go.
And that character flaw goes across the board, black and white. Hello.
And white,
absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just how people say it.
Blanket statements frustrate me.
Yeah.
Nakia Sangria said we didn't have any issues. This is back in the summer of '84. My aunt went my aunt went a couple of times a year until her death about 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. My sister was in Ethiopia for a year. Her ex-husband and her children. And she had young children at the time. And I know that she was accepted and welcomed with open arms. So we're talking from the west to the east, Senegal being down a little bit further. We have to know better.
Yeah.
We have to know better. We have to do better. And to say that we are not our ancestors is so unfair to our ancestors. I feel like it's disrespectful. Culturally, when we mess everything up, there's a couple of things that are staples in our culture. You can take a person, a child, or anything that is the most disrespectful person, but when an older person says, hey, they get right, they turn around. I mean, they could have a gun and robbing somebody, and an older person say, what you doing? They'll turn around and be like, nothing, ma'am. Do you know what I'm saying? That is cultural. That's who we are. Nakia says it's unfair to your own grandparents.
Yeah.
And it's that close. It's that close. So that conversation, when someone said that, I'm like, if you knew the history. Now, I will say this. My grandmother was not, she never wanted to share her history. And I think that's part of the problem too, is the dialogue got broken down. As much as I would bet, and now her stories have died with her now. I understand that there were triggers. I understand that there was abuse. I understand that there were a lot of things, but I'm going to still say, but I needed that information. We need that information.
Yeah.
We need that
because that's what makes the story robust and alive and live in us. And so now I will give her grace, because I'm pretty sure she's never heard a true story, or seen a true artifact and really bought into the narrative that we are our ancestors. She clearly didn't. And I mean, but I guess my problem is, and my cousin told me this years ago, and he's like, their Rasta, they were born Rasta, their parents were well educated and educators. And he told me one day in his 20s, I said, why do you stay in the library so much? He said, because the more I find out about my people, the more I realize what I don't know. And so as a result, it's my responsibility. So he would have books, huge books. And ever since he said that, it made me want to feel better, because I'm like, gosh, there's so much I don't know. And it is a little humiliating. But when do we take responsibility to get knowledge for self?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why do we continue to leave this on? Okay,
Absolutely.
our teachers. Now, I'm going to give it to you as a teacher, but even as an educator, people have said to me, what you're trying to do might be a little crossing the line, because you're trying to teach your children something that, meaning my students, something that's very sensitive, I would stay away from that, is what I've heard from a lot of people.
Yeah,
Let the
they always
parents
say that,
educate them.
bull.
But look at what we got. They're not, though. And they're perpetuating ignorance among their children. So if that lady has a child, I'm afraid. So we have to take responsibility to know better and then to teach better. We have to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. What were we going to say, Cap?
I was going to go back to Estrella Williams when she said the issue too is most of us don't know our ancestors or history. They only have the derogatory stereotype. I think part of that also comes from not believing that you can do better. You know what I mean? I think not attributing yourself to your ancestors is a self-esteem thing. We talk about.
Oh, come on now.
We talk about all the time how, you know, you have a radius, you know what I mean, of where you go, you know, depending on your socioeconomic standpoint, you have a radius of what you do, where you go, what you involve yourself in. And when you don't see that you can do better, when you don't see that your parents can do better, your family can do better, all you see is you guys are in this little group. You don't know the greatness that you have waiting for you. You know what I mean?
You don't.
And
you don't. Said, thank you, Mama.
and so I think that some of the people who say, "Oh, I'm not my ancestors," it's not because they don't want to be, but it's because they don't know what being their ancestors comes with. You know what I mean?
That's fair assessment.
People, even going back to when she said that her ancestors started at slavery because that's all she was taught, because that's all you know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
Right.
Until you take it upon yourself to say, okay, my people have got to be better than this. There's no way that this is all that we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think until people look inside and really see that, they don't really see their ancestors. So I can understand how sometimes people may find it, you know, a little hard to put themselves together, but I think that's just for a lack of extending themselves.
Wow. So how do we change the narrative?
Right.
That was great.
That was good, Ty.
Mom, he needs an ice cream cone or something.
We do have to change the narrative. Tina said, it has been my life goal to have dual citizenship in Ghana. And I'm going to be her next door neighbor or just around the gate. Yeah, just around the gate down by.
Yeah, me and my sisters are ready to go too. So yeah.
We remember we talked about that. We looked
up
we
the
top 5 countries, and I think 10. Ghana was on the list.
Ghana was on there. Tanzania was on there.
The top 5 countries for African Americans to move to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't.
So my daughter goes to a homeschool. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My daughter goes to a homeschool pod, and her teacher is from Ghana. And she this summer she kept saying, come to my house, come. Modestly, her house is a baby mansion. It's huge. And she's like, you just can stay. But when she says it's nominal, she lives off her land. She has mango fruits and all this off of her land, like just to understand. And then what she brings to the school is the same concept. Like, we're going to learn like an old schoolhouse, no computers, like it's real schoolhouse type. My baby came out in kindergarten reading fluidly, like chapter books, because she didn't have all the fluffy stuff. She said, we doing this the Ghanaian way. So she sat her down, and it is amazing to watch my daughter plant, to watch her eat peanut butter, everything, because she cooks with everything. But she sees and has been exposed. And to your son's point, that's exactly what we don't have is exposure.
Yes,
we don't have exposure.
Estrella Williams said, laugh out loud. You don't hear Paris Hilton saying she's not her ancestor.
You don't.
Boop. I know we're running out of time. I wanted to share my response to the young lady and kind of wrap us up with that, if that's okay. I said,
you running the show. What am I gonna say? No.
You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? And then y'all get mad at me for cracking a joke. Crack one joke and that's it. So I said Clarissa Foster. Well, she said that we are not our ancestors. So I said Clarissa Foster. Perhaps a better statement would be I instead of we. And to that, I absolutely am my ancestors. I am a descendant of kings and queens. I speak several languages: English, Italian, Spanish, French, some Igbo, Pidgin, Caucasoid, the King's English, Nuck if you buck, and now here. I am a survivor and a daughter of the Most High God. I am a proud descendant of a people who were stolen from their land, where they had civilizations, kingdoms, and universities before their colonizers even knew what they were. My ancestors invented math and science. They are the original doctors. My people were stolen for the purposes of creating the same when those settlers neither had the wherewithal, strength, and or fortitude to do the same.
Yeah.
The young man that jumped in the water in Montgomery must have channeled his ancestor spirits when they said, I'll jump before I'll sit, and allowed this to happen. Those individuals that fought must have channeled Nat Turner when he revolted. Read Nat Turner's Revolt. It's better than any horror film on the big screen. I am my ancestors because I stand on the shoulders of some men and women who heroically gave their lives in the struggle, and who honorably, intelligently, and unrelentlessly stood and spoke against the inhumane treatment of our people. I am my ancestors because one day, and it seems to be at hand, I will have to remind the next generation of who they are, whose they are, and the fact that we come from great minds and a mighty people. Some will agree. Some will say, I am not like them. And others prayerfully will see that we are more them now than they were then. We are more them now than they were then. There are doubters and naysayers then too. I just pray that we don't forget where we came from, that we find strength in who we are. If it weren't for our ancestors, there would be no us. A house cat today may not look like much, but we cannot say it is not a descendant of the lion, or it is not feline like its ancestors. If you put a house cat in the right situation, creating a perfect storm, it will arch its back, it will get low to the ground, study its prey, and behave like its ancestors. There's a quote by Harriet Tubman that says, I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves.
If
I
they
pray
knew.
That's right.
that we come together. I pray that we come together like they did in Montgomery more, but on a different platform, using our votes, our voices, and our own veto power. I pray that we continue to channel the spirit of our ancestors. Some may feel like the house cat right now, not at all connected to or aware of their genetic ancestry. I pray they channel and become the kings and queens that we are. Unfortunately, even during our ancestors' time, there were those that said, I am not like them. If we agree on that, then that actually does make you just like your ancestors, just not the ones we're proud of or the ones we honor and lift up and celebrate. I am, in fact, my ancestors, and pray that they are pleased with my representation of them and that they forgive those that deny them their due honor. I pray we never find ourselves at the bottom of a pile of angry racists, but if we do, I pray that the onlookers are people who believe we are our ancestors, and that one of my ancestors will jump in the water and swim to my aid. And should I be a witness to such an atrocious and heinous act, may the ancestors well up in me and either teach me how to swim or allow me to walk on water. I am my ancestors, and prayerfully, you are or will be too.
Now that's a poem, right? You're gonna write that as a poem,
It
right?
was.
Yeah, yeah. I am now.
Yeah, there's
just
absolutely no way that
responding.
you cannot recite that again somewhere else.
It's no way. It brought tears to my eyes when I read that. I was
Right,
speechless.
thank you. I was.
Everyone was.
But thank you. Yes, I will rewrite it and I'll keep it just like that and refigure it. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Nakia. Listen, this has been a wonderful hour. Tanisha, promise you'll come back.
Whenever you want me, I'm coming back. You guys are a riot on top of being uber intelligent, my type of people.
Well, amen. Thank you. You as well. We've always, from day one, always connected.
And the baby don't fall too far off the chip. He is great.
Well,
I know, right? Brother with his articulation.
Articulate, okay.
Look, it wasn't easy.
He was hanging like he was at the spades table. He's hanging.
It was that 6-hour nap. I'm telling you guys. You gotta get on that. You gotta get on it. I'm telling you.
You know what? I can't languorous.
Languorous New York. Yeah, whenever you guys want me, invite me. I love it.
The top 7 answers that we lie, we tell their doctors, feel fine, don't smoke, eat right. They are in pain. They lie about their weight, taking medication, and that they don't drink. Y'all quit lying to your doctor. Quit lying. They know. Look, give them a
Listen,
challenge.
I'm waiting for them to start telling me the truth about what's going on with me.
Oh, you know
There
what?
you go.
You know
There you
what?
go.
Come on.
I
There
can't.
you go.
Oh,
Let's
they
be real
telling
about
you.
this now.
I'm with him. I'm with
That's
him.
the next show, Jason. Next show. Jason A. always starting something. Benefield. Let's say really quick hello to David T. Miller, pastor of Wesley Union AME Zion Church. Pastor
All
Miller,
right.
for joining us. Listen, we've gone over our time, but I
Yeah.
want to say a special thank you to Minister Chris Thomas at the Voice 17104. Listen, if you guys have an idea for a show, that man right there, we've interrupted his dinner. That man
Yeah, we
right
did.
there is the man that you need to see. David T. Miller says we ask more questions about our cell phone bill than our health.
Ooh.
That's
Facts.
the next show, Pastor.
Facts. How come
That's
I
the-
can't call this number that I know I ain't supposed to be calling? Somebody
You
help
know
me
what?
with that.
I can't with y'all right now. I cannot. Listen, Tanisha, thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us. We will have you on. Open invitation. The door is open. By all
Okay.
means, please join us again. Don't be a
Yes, ma'am.
stranger. We are praying with and for you
Thank
for
you.
everything.
Yes, yes.
And for the babies. Thank you for all you do for our babies.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna send a big one to you. Thank you. We've
I
had
need
Buffalo.
you. Real talk.
We've had Buffalo. We've had Los Angeles. We got Charlotte. We got South Carolina. I believe we've got a Harrisburg, definitely, and a couple of other places in between. Thank you guys for coming on and joining us. Thank you for supporting us on 3 years.
Yes, 3 years.
What?
Wow,
3 years. I can't
congratulations.
wait to do it for 3 more years.
Yep.
David T. Miller says grandma wasn't a doctor, but she gave better prescriptions. I know that's right.
Hey, no.
She gave prescriptions. Jesus is my God. You know what?
Down on my scripture. And
And he
yeah.
killed me. Anyway, Pastor put after the choir. Yes, Mom, we said Rock Hill, South Carolina. We got you.
Hey.
Listen, guys, we have run over our time, but thank you so much. We love you guys. Same place, same time next week. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. Yes, I
I
am.
love that. I love
Yes,
that.
I am.
I love that.
Jason, we did it again.
It's okay. It's okay. We have next time, and then the next time after that.
Absolutely. And then the time after that, too.
And then the time after
That
that.
time-
Yeah.
And then that next time.